Hey folks, and welcome to week number 6. This is a quick re-record because I updated some of the dates here. So, for Monday this week, we're going to watch week 6's video. That you're doing that right now. Check your feedback on last week's work. That should actually, mostly already be done. Complete the study analysis instruction, and then complete the study analysis activity. Okay? So, I want to pop in here and take a look at this real quick. Now, the activity that we're looking at here is this template right here. And I'm actually going to show you a sample of it filled out here. So that template actually is just a document that you can fill in, okay? In this case, I filled it in with the information from the 2 diet soda articles you guys have been discussing in your discussion groups. What we do, we put a citation in here. Again, you should already have these for your annotations. You put them here. It's an ability to sort of reuse your citation as you're getting ready to write the paper. From there, this is really all about currency, authority, the study population, study design, bias, and then what we learn from the source, okay? Now, this gives us a fair bit of information, and it helps you frame out in your mind why they got the results they got. Our goal with essay number 2 here, of course, is to try to understand what the takeaway is. If we look at 2 studies and figure out, well, what should we take away about this question? For example, we've got these 2 diet soda studies, both of which look at the relationship between diet soda and weight gain or weight loss. Ultimately, the question we've got to ask is it a good thing to drink diet soda if you're trying to lose weight? And there's got to be a way to answer that question. This grid, understanding how recent these articles are, how authoritative they are, who was studied in this, okay? And the language in here is very specific about that. Should help us, though. However, should help us to sort of understand what the differences between these 2 articles are, but what the difference between the 2 studies are. And once we know the difference between the 2 studies, then we can think, okay, given that, the differences between them, here's what these things actually show, here's what we can say based upon the result, on the work that they did. Okay? And that's really our goal. So, as always, I have a template for you to fill out. This is the sample we just looked at, just so you can see what I'm looking for, and then there's the Dropbox. Now, one of the questions we always have is, well, how do I know what to put in there? There are 3 web pages here on study design, authorial background and conflict, and the journal background, which will help give you some of that information. So, for example, if you click the study design link, this will actually help you think about what kind of a study it is, okay? And this actually uses some information from George Washington University's library, kind of talking about different kinds of studies. Different kinds of study design, and then how we identify the population that is being studied. What are the common characteristics? The population they chose to study in Hill and Peters' article on diet soda is critically important to the results they get. Everyone in that study had one very specific thing in common. And if you understand that, that tells us pretty much everything about how they got the results they got. And that's going to be pretty typical across the board. For us, okay? So, again, I'm going to go back to week 6 here, and I am going to... Sorry about that. It was hard to grab onto my screen here. Okay, so that was the study design webpage. There's a similar one for authorial background and conflict and journal background. Just what do you do to try to figure out, like, if there's a conflict of interest? Where would we look? How would we go about this? Okay, so those 3 web pages, please read through all of them before you start doing your template. Okay, so that's Monday's work. That's the work I pushed back from this past week because I thought people needed a little bit more time to actually focus in and spend some time doing this. Then I want you to look over the proposal template and the sample proposal. I want you to write and submit the Essay 2 proposal. Look over the sample essay 2, and then complete the sample essay exercise. So, again, proposal template, a sample proposal, and a place to submit your essay 2 proposal. I specifically have you guys do this on Thursday after you've completed this study analysis worksheet. Again, because that study analysis worksheet should help you to understand what it is you're going to write about. You should start to see the differences between those 2 studies, which will help you understand why they got the results they got. Okay, so the idea is that this form, this worksheet here, will give you information that you're going to put into your proposal. Again, there's a sample right here. Then there's a sample essay 2. You can take a look at. I strongly recommend you take a look at it. This is one of the biggest essays that people struggle with if they don't look at the sample. If they look at the sample, it makes perfect sense what it is they're going about. There's also a sample essay 2 exercise. That sample essay 2 exercise is really going to be reading the sample essay, and I want you to come in here and add comments. This is a shared Google Doc that you guys all have access to. What I want is everyone to come in, add some comments about what you like, what you don't like, what seems out of the ordinary. Add at least 3 comments to it. Please feel free to add more, and I want to come back and I will address those right after you guys are done with this. So you guys are going to finish this on Thursday, and early next week I will send out some information about what you guys identified regarding Essay 2. Okay? So that's everything for this week. As always, if you've got questions, please don't hesitate to let me know.